What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today's video will be kind of different than I normally do, and in today's video I'll be going over the history of Plants vs Zombies. Now of course, Plants vs Zombies is big for this channel, it's the only game we post. So I think we should just kind of go through the history of it, where it started and where it is now, you know, just talk about it. So our story starts on February 15, 2010, when PopCap released Plants vs Zombies on the iPhone and iPod. So Plants vs Zombies was a new game, and what I love about this game is how just different it was. It took something that most people knew about, which were zombies, and kind of combined it to something that everyone knew about but no one really cared about. So they got two general things that everyone knew about and put them together, and then they got a game that people knew about. So you got Plants vs Zombies, very simple, and you just if you heard this game, you would basically know what it's about. It's just Plants vs Zombies. And I feel like that's where the main success came from, was because of just how simple of a game it was. People could learn it easily, kids liked it, older people liked it. It was very different and fun. It wasn't violent or gruesome. You know, you could just kind of just play it, depending, age doesn't even matter. And that's just kind of where it kind of succeeded. So starting off 2011, January 18th, they released Plants vs Zombies to the Nintendo DS. You know, I think this was another big step because a lot of the younger people maybe don't have phones. Their parents just don't want them to have a phone or iPod yet. But they will get them a DS because it's, you know, a friendly theme to kids. So they released Plants vs Zombies on the DS and got a lot of the younger audience to play this. And February 8th, Plants vs Zombies is released to the PlayStation Network. So for all those salty PlayStation people who got mad that it was on the Xbox, and I got it on the PlayStation, so that was pretty cool to see that on there. Definitely also got to the other half of people. March 14th, it is released to the Nintendo DSi software, and you know, it was already basically on DS, so there's it's not that much, it's just like a little baby step, but it still helped. Now May 31st, Plants vs Zombies is released to the Android phone, so it's on iPhone, now it's on Android, so it's basically on every sort of phone. And then June 22nd is released to the Windows phone, which I don't really know, but probably only a couple people have that thing, but they at least got to enjoy Plants vs Zombies on there. So that will end 2011, but now we got 2012. And on February 22nd, PlayStation released Plants vs Zombies to PlayStation Vita, and that was really it for about 2012. And on an unknown date, Plants vs Zombies is released to the Nook. So if you were the one or two people who had a Nook, you would get it. So once they started winding down, where they could expand, guess what they did? Boom, 2013. Now they have a second game, and only released it to Australia and New Zealand. But in my opinion, I think that's sort of just like a test run. I don't really think that was just the main game. I feel like that was just like a demo. So they just wanted to test out the game, see if it had any issues, and they just kind of released it to Australia and New Zealand. And then about a month later, it was released worldwide, except for China, on iOS. And this game, what I love about this game, and why I think it was also another great success, was because they just didn't copy and paste the first game. It still obviously was different, but it still was sort of the same. You would still have your basic backyard, and you still have normal plants. They did change the style of the plants and the zombies, but I still liked the new design. I thought it was a really nice design. And they added new zombies as well, I remember the Egyptian one. So it was different. There were now levels, so you could just do different levels. You would kind of unlock plants differently as well. So a lot of this was different and offered a lot of new features to it. And that's another thing that I loved, was because sometimes the issue with sequels to different games are they just take the first game, just copy and paste it down, one new thing to the game, and call it brand new. And that's where most sequels fail. But I think Plants vs Zombies, they did that, but they added a lot more than just one thing, and they made it a lot different. And that's where I feel that most of their success came from. And then about another month later, it was released in China, but only on Android. And then October 2nd and 23rd, it was released worldwide on Android, and in Australia and New Zealand on Android. And then December 9th, a beta test for Plants vs Zombies Online was released to the PC in China only. So now China, getting excluded from it before, now gets the first one as a beta for online. 2014 was a big year for them because in 2014, on February 25th, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare was released for Xbox One and Xbox 360 in America. And now another huge success for the Plants vs. Zombies and for PopCap. What Garden Warfare was it wasn't the same typical Plants vs. Zombies. It had a whole new thing. Now Garden Warfare was not just your whole like just 2D sort of game. It was a 3D sort of Call of Duty style. It was Plants vs. Zombies, still family friendly, but in Call of Duty form. Now think of that, like that is just kind of crazy how they just kind of went from a 2D just placing down plants to actually like controlling the plant Call of Duty style. And they really succeeded in that part. So February 28th, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare was released for Xbox One and Xbox 360 in Europe. And then June 24th, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare was released for the PC worldwide, except for China. And then Plants vs. Zombies Online was officially released in China for the PC. So just kind of hitting those little stepping points. Nothing really major right now. But another major point for them, August 19th, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare was released for the PlayStation Network in America. So now you got the other half of people getting this game. Instead of just Xbox, you now have Xbox and PlayStation. There was the whole Xbox and PlayStation rivalry at the time. So it's kind of important to get it on the PlayStation for them. At the time, it was like, Xbox would be like, oh, we have Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. You don't. So then they just kind of rushed to get it out. Well, not really rushed, I would say, but they kind of were able to get it out there quickly because obviously PlayStation was looking for new games. And then, pretty sad, October 12th, Plants vs. Zombies Adventures shut down, but I'm not sure how many people actually played that game. I doubt there really wasn't a lot. And then November 13th, I would say a pretty big point for Plants vs. Zombies. They added a free version for Plants vs. Zombies, and it was released for iOS and Android. So a lot of new things happened in 2014. We got big things like Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and then Plants vs. Zombies, the free version. But a lot of little games like Plants vs. Zombies All-Stars and Plants vs. Zombies Magic Book. And most of these were just released in China as just, I would say, sort of test runs. We also had an unknown date where Social Edition was added. So not only do we have the big major things happening this year, but we also had some sort of little things to just kind of keep this game alive. 2015, nothing really big happened this year. Just a lot of more things being added to China. With the Use Your Brains EDU, just schools I would guess, just came out on the iPad, except for China. And an unknown date, Plants vs. Zombies Social Edition was shut down. So 2015, pretty boring year for PopCap. I would say nothing big, but they did have their little tiny things. That would be just kind of a boring year for them. Now, another major year for them. 2016, 2 years after the first one, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 is released for EA/Origin Access users worldwide, except for China, on February 18th. And then on February 23rd, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 is released in America, and 2 days later, it is released in Europe. So now, it's reaching worldwide. And Plants vs. Zombies 2 was an amazing sequel for an already amazing game. And that is very, very hard to do. And most times sequels fail because they're just, like I said earlier, they're just a copy and paste. Because they think that's what the people want. And yeah, it may be. But sometimes they just don't do it right. But what they did for this game was they did it right. So I thought that Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 is an amazing game. That's of course why I post content on it. I love this game. It's very fun. And I don't know how they were able to follow up Garden Warfare 1 with this game, but they did, and they did a great job with it. So then March 10th, we got another Plants vs. Zombies, and that was Plants vs. Zombies Heroes, and it was released in Australia and New Zealand on Android and iOS. I think this one was sort of like a card game, so if you weren't really a fan of card games, this one was just pretty boring for you. So Plants vs. Zombies Heroes wasn't really, I would say, a big success. I probably didn't really play it that much. I probably played it like once, and I didn't really care for it. So I wouldn't really say this is like a big one to add, but it is sort of a new game, and it was released worldwide for Android and iOS on October 18th. So 2017, another really boring year with only one thing really happening for them, and that was on some unknown time. Plants vs. Zombies All-Stars was removed from the Chinese App Store, along with every other China-exclusive PopCap game except Plants vs. Zombies 2 Chinese version. So, unless you live in China, this does not matter for you, and you do not care about this at all. 2018, starting off on January 20th. Now, if you were a fan of Plants vs. Zombies Heroes, this is a sad day for you, because it received its last content update. So if you really did care about this game, then January 20th, not a happy day for you, because now you received your last content update, and there's nothing much for you to do now. Then, on August 11th, Plants vs. Zombies Online was shut down. So again, if you did like this, sad day for you. So if you were a fan of Heroes and Online, 2018 would be sort of a sad year for you. So 2019 was another pretty okay year. I don't know, it wasn't really good. We did get some new games. So July 16th, Plants vs. Zombies 3 was released on Android devices for pre-alpha testing. So not the actual full game, but just a testing to see if there's any issues with the game. I'm guessing there was. And then September 4th, the Founders Edition of Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville is released. And this game, I would say, it really isn't that good of a game. Now, what they basically did was they just sort of got like the Garden Warfare games, because it is a sort of Garden Warfare type game, if you didn't know. And they just sort of changed stuff just for the sake of change. Like, I feel like that for this game, all you had to do was just sort of not really replicate this game, but just make it different. You could have kind of kept the same sort of like style, but then they would just sort of like change the textures on like the pea shooters and zombies. It just didn't really look as good. Like, I'd much rather prefer this game compared to that one. So I feel like they didn't really do much for that game. They just were like, well, we need to change something, why not change their design? And yeah, although I would like to see a different design on the character, they just changed it up too much and just made it look too different. It just did not feel like a good Plants vs. Zombies game. But on September 30th, they did release Naperville worldwide. So if you did sort of like this game, then you did get it worldwide. And not really people did. But yeah, that's going to wrap up 2019. So now, 2 more years left, 2020, one of the worst years possible. February 20th, Plants vs. Zombies was soft launched on Android and iOS devices in select countries. So not every country got the third one, but some did. And if you were one of selected countries, then you would obviously be able to play this game. June 4th, Naperville was released on Steam. So if you were a PC player, you would be able to play this now. On July 11th, All Stars was shut down, so if you were a fan of that game, sad day for you. Nah, you're not, because it's gone. Another sort of sad day, September 29th, Naperville received its last content update. Now, honestly, that's kind of sad, because it received its last content update just a year after it was released. That's just how much of a failure it was. So, if you're looking at it that way, that could have been a sad day for you, but otherwise, I'm sure you probably don't care. Then November 8th, Plants vs. Zombies 3 soft launch was shut down to keep working on the game. So just another sort of testing day, just to kind of get some like complaints in for the game and fix them. And now, last but not least, 2021, our current year. On March 19th, Naperville is released on the Nintendo Switch. So just another sort of expanding day for them. June 4th, Zombie Match was soft launch on Android and iOS devices in select countries as part of a limited market test. So just another sort of game that they probably just launched just to get some sort of feedback on, just so they can fix. That's December 7th, a new version of Plants vs. Zombies 3 was announced with early testing in select countries. And nothing ever since. So obviously PopCap is not done with their Plants vs. Zombies series, with still Plants vs. Zombies 3 and Zombie Match still having to come out. And I'm sure we will see more games later on. But that is the history of the Plants vs. Zombies franchise. Honestly, one of my favorite franchises. Only a couple bad games in here, in my opinion. With some unknown games only being in China. But it is a really big franchise. And they have released a lot and taken down a lot of games. So, PopCap has been through a lot with this game. And in my opinion, I think all the games are great. It's just such an amazing franchise. Just looking at its history, they've been around for like 11 years almost, and that's just crazy how long they've been making games for us. We have seen countless games. Some are just completely amazing, some are forgettable, but that is the full history of Plants vs Zombies and its franchise. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe with the bell so you never miss any of our awesome videos. I'll see you guys in the next video.